Yes.
Welcome
Favorite
to If They Won't Listen to episode 47 with Leon's friend Nami. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. And yourself?
Good, good. What about you guys?
I'm doing really well. I'm a little burnt from being at the beach today, but it's fine. It's going to turn into a nice, healthy bronze afterwards. It's usually how that works with my Latino skin.
Sounds magical, buddy.
It is. It really is.
What about
Spencer,
you?
how you been?
I've been doing all right. You know, for the first time in a while, I've actually been fine and dandy at the same time.
Wow, dancing
Oh,
through the
that's an
house?
applause, guys. Yeah.
Yes.
We did it.
Anyone do anything fun this
I only
weekend?
got George Carlin to thank for that.
Oh, you've been watching him?
Oh, I've been watching him since I was a kid.
There you go.
I remember, like, one of my first stand-ups, I just remember a bit about him talking about Iraq and missiles, and I was like, I don't understand world politics, but this shit's funny at 4.
Right when you remember being 10 years old and you were watching George, was it George Miller or Miller? Oh, I'm forgetting his name now. Dennis Miller.
Oh, Dennis Miller, yeah.
And he would say something about some time in history, and you're like, oh, it's like the time when the Aztecs got this. And you're like, what? And then you read about it and go, oh, okay. I see how that's funny. You, Dennis.
It was most hysterical, though, when he did it on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Because he'd just be like, all right, it's the Packers and the 49ers, and it's like Battle of Babylon and Goliath. And it's like, what? What's going on here?
He's bringing up biblical references.
Biblical reference. Like, I haven't seen a man get tackled like that since the Spartans. And it's like, whoa, baby.
There's a really funny guy on Facebook who's hilarious, and he's an older gentleman, probably like 60s or 70s, and he has jokes about when he was in school, and it's like the most funny, irreverent humor. You know what I mean? Because he's like, I was answering a question on a test, and the question was, you know, who was in the Peloponnesian War? And he was like, the Peloponnesian people. And it was just like, there's just so many really fucking funny puns about schoolwork. And it was just like, I can relate to this. And it's fucking hilarious for all
answers that are not wrong, right? It's what causes divorce? Marriage. Duh.
Yeah. Who was in the book with Lewis and Clark? Probably his friends, you know?
You brought Charles, Rachel, we had Chandler.
There was a Zach there.
There was a Zach, a Curtis. I know there was a Curtis with a K.
Wasn't there a Sacagawea too?
Bless you.
Oh, I don't think that's appropriate.
Is it?
Man.
I don't know.
I don't know how to face that culture, to be honest. I've been to a bunch of Indian reservations for like big, you know, celebration things and, you know, their donation events, and they're always wicked fun, but I'm so culturally ignorant. Like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, that's their entire life. And I'm just like, oh, I thought you got dressed for this, you know? It's a big disconnect. I'm just saying, like, there's nothing I do. Like, to me, if you get dressed up, you're either in a Renaissance fair or going to Comic-Con in Boston. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing I do that requires me to put on something other than what I could go to work in.
Right.
Except bathing suit shorts, maybe. Like that, I would never go to work in those.
I love wearing. I don't wear bathing suit shorts anymore. I stopped. I wear briefs. I speedo it up.
So you do like the whole banana hammock?
Yeah, straight up. And I get a full tan on my leg all the way up to the butt cheek, you know?
I could see you doing it, not me.
Do you shave the night before
Briefing
or
it,
the morning of?
What was that, Nami?
I was saying, like, I'm like, he's probably briefing it, huh?
Oh, I'm briefing it. Everyone's like looking at me. All right, hold on, Nami. You know Edgewater here in Clearwater in Dunedin?
Yes. I love Edgewater. Love
I'm
it.
guessing you walked it before. If so,
Yep.
Just really quick, Nami is a traveler and a hiker, just so you guys know before we get into it. So I'm on Edgewater, and the wife and I were sunbathing, and I get up and I just got my red, you know, briefs on, you know, because I want that as much of a full body tan as possible. And I'm just getting honked at. Yeah. I heard a wolf whistle. And you go, I'm like, and I pointed him going, yo, you know it, dog.
Oh, good stuff.
My eyes are up here.
My eyes are up here. I'm up here.
But my sins are down there.
Guys don't get to say that. That's a really cool thing to say, though. Like,
what?
you know, I'm up here. But no one looks at a guy's boobs with, you know what I mean? Just weird. I don't know. That's such a weird thing at my job. I work in a factory, Nami, and it gets stupid hot. And guys are allowed to take off their shirts, but obviously girls aren't. And it's like this weird, you know what I mean?
What?
Well,
That's
yeah,
so weird. Like, why
yeah.
can't you guys do that? Like, it's hot in there. I always think about like people who are like in that industry. Like, can you guys just like take off your shirt or like just
Yeah,
have to breathe or somewhat?
Pop
Yeah,
that bad boy off.
Cause like, how hot does it really get in there? Like 100?
Oh
Probably
yeah,
more, right?
yeah. Their slogan when they had orientation was that they have 1,000,000 square feet of roof. And
Mhm.
now there's like 2 warehouses where there's really expensive things and they're air conditioned, and then the rest, the other 800,000 square feet, that's where the cardboard boxes full of completed shit is. So it's like they're not, it's not regulated. So when I walk in, if it's 85 outside, it's 90
Mhm.
in my warehouse where I build things, and then when I get out into the warehouse where I put boxes, it's like 10 more degrees hotter or colder. So in the winter, it'll be the same influx, 60 inside, 30 in the warehouse. And it just, I love the job, but yeah, if I wasn't acclimated to heat, that's one of the main reasons people quit. They have a wicked bad turnover rate. You get a heat
Mm.
stroke, they throw on 12-hour shifts and people are like, I just can't do it. I just can't, and
Oh
I
yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
you must be used to that hiking, right?
Oh gosh. Yes, yes. Like, cause I've been like hiking since I would say like fall of last year when I was in Gatlinburg. So of course, when you're on the mountains, it's not going to be as hot. But so far as of I would say end of May, early June, it got wicked hot outside. I mean, I'm outside and I have like you know how you get those like heat blisters on your shoulders from like it being so hot outside, and you're
No,
like,
I'm
what
perfect.
is this? Sweat drops? Like it looks like sweat, but like when you touch it, you're like, oh, you're like, what is that? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's so weird because I have like a backpack on and stuff, so I don't really see it until I take off my strap, and I'm just like, this is insane how hot it is, you know. But I've been getting tanned all over. I'm like all the shades of the rainbow right now. Like it's just all mismatched. It's insane. Like, I'm guessing that like you have that too, right? I'm right, Leon. Like all the
Right.
different color shades. It's so weird
Yeah.
because I'm just
No,
like I
yeah.
don't even know like what color I am now.
Right now, like if you can't see, it's a little red. You
Right,
give it
right,
about a
right.
day, it's gonna be like a nice bronze, like a
A
nice
nice
tone.
Mhm.
bronze. I put
You
it
know
on
what
my
I mean?
resume. I'm bronze.
Yeah, bronze Leon.
Bronze.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Just like,
That's a good little ring to it, man.
just get veiny.
So
But yeah, I have
Sorry.
like a nice little gradient on like my shoulder, so I'm just like, oh, okay,
I
I
dig
can
it.
You're
rock
like a
with this.
paint. You're like paint swatches. So like, all right, that's how I want to do my room.
Exactly, exactly.
So
Yeah,
where's
that cinnamon color right there? That's what I want to hit it
Uh,
at.
where's your
Little like artistic canvas.
where's the favorite spot you've ever hiked? I've done things where I've climbed mountains, especially since I moved to Vermont, which is where I live now. But
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't call myself a hiker. Like I go hiking, but like you must have been to some cool places to call yourself a hiker, right? Like
Oh, yes, yes.
so
Like
what's
I
number
would
one?
say, oh gosh, like I would say the coolest place that I've hiked would be, I would say, when I was in Hawaii. And this was before I even started like becoming an avid hiker, because I've always loved to explore all over. Like if I go somewhere new, you best believe that I'm going to, explore the whole entire area. So when I was in Honolulu on the Oahu Island, they have this really cool sunrise hike. Um, where you actually can go on like Diamond Head. I'm not
Mhm.
sure if you guys heard of like Diamond Head Mountain in
No, I've
Yes,
never
Hawaii,
heard
actually,
of it.
but
yeah,
you have you have
I have.
yeah, it's a inactive volcano.
Oh
So a lot
shit.
of people will hike that volcano. And once you enter that area where the parking lot is, like you don't realize that it's the crater of the volcano until you actually hike up the mountain and you just look at the whole overlook, and that's when you see the entire volcano and the crater. So when you hike up, it's
Yeah.
really fascinating because there's this old like World War II bunker, and you can actually crawl underneath it, and there's like these old like spiral staircases that
What?
you can still use to go up the staircase, because they have like,
What?
yes, it's like a World War II bunker. I'm telling
No.
you. Yeah, they have like two different trails, right? they'll say, okay, like if you want to take it easy, then you can just walk the easy part. If you want a little challenge, there's these stairs that go up that will lead you in, into this World War II bunker. So I was literally crawling on my knees to get to the outside of the bunker. And that's when you get to see like the beautiful waters of Hawaii. And it's pretty for the sunrise.
That sounds freaking dope. Just to go
Yeah,
through like
so
an
if you
old,
guys,
go through some history.
oh yeah, like there's history everywhere. It's really interesting, even on, I would say I did a little hike here in Florida where I was hiking on an Indian mound. So that was pretty interesting. It was just like a bit of stairs leading up to it, and then you get to sit by the water and whatnot. But like you never know what you may find once you actually walk on the trail or in the park. Like I always see something new every day.
All right, so with
Let me
that,
ask you
what?
something.
Oh, Spencer got it. I think
got
I think he's gonna
questions.
ask the same exact question I'm gonna ask. So, all right, you go.
I
Spencer.
hope so. I hope we're thinking the same thing.
Better.
So let me ask you something. What type of socks do you wear on these hikes?
Damn it, that wasn't what I was gonna ask.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
gonna ask like what dinosaur she found or something, and you. I hate
Oh,
you.
that's another good
All right,
question.
but I guess that's a good question. What kind of socks do you wear, Nami? All right.
Okay,
Wow.
okay. I gotta be a little nerdy. So
Oh, okay. I
I
want to
would
take a
go-
stab at the
nerd
dark.
it
I'm gonna
up.
take a stab at the dark. I want to say stab at the dark. Yu Yu Hakusho socks.
no. Mm-mm.
Damn. All right, go.
Okay. I have some really cute Pikachu socks that I sometimes wear.
I vibe that.
Is it Detective
They're cute.
Pikachu?
Okay. And then I have some really, amazing like Mr. Rogers socks that are very comfy and they come up my legs and I love it. And then I have like this really cool pair of hiking socks where I have an individual spot for each toe when I'm hiking. So it spreads my feet
I like that.
around. Yeah, it spreads your feet so that your feet can breathe. And whenever I hike, there's always a chance for you to get like feet blisters because of like the heat and the friction when you're walking. So I always wear like anti-blister socks for my feet to keep my feet dry. So I just love finding different types of socks to wear. So whenever I take pictures, like I'm always wearing like some kind of socks to go with it that look pretty cool.
That needs to be on your stories on Insta. Like wearing
I
these
know,
socks.
right?
Yeah, I think that needs to be a thing, a part of your stories. Like it's like going up the Lake Pucha Park. These are the socks I'm gonna wear with these shoes.
Do you have socks that I should wear? So
right?
message me. I'll
Right.
wear your socks.
The whole question.
You got some cool dinosaur socks? I'll rock your T-Rex socks.
Bro,
You know
rock
what
a
I mean?
T-Rex
Like-
sock, right?
Hey, so I just speaking of socks, because I'm talking about feet, and I mean hiking, you gotta kind of be a little health conscious and nature conscious. I think you know what I mean. Like there's a lot of things out there that you know what I mean.
Mhm.
If you're a pacifist, you need to be prepared to run, and if you're not a pacifist, you need to be like you know what I mean. Bear mace does more than guns do in most cases against bears, and that doesn't make logical sense, but it's completely true, and stuff like that. So
exactly.
in Vermont, I'm dying to do long hikes, and not as much it will be a hike, but I call it more like a dangerous camping venture. There's a few spots you can go where I'll go a 10-mile walk with gear, camp, 10-mile walk with gear, camp, and then make my way back, due to the time constraints of doing it. But there's a few
Gotcha.
spots I really want to go. And I've been researching like how to cool down if you're in like if you get overheated, you got a backpack on and God forbid something happens. And
Mhm.
speaking of feet, so do you guys know that the palms of your hands, the bottoms of your feet, and the top of your face are the same type of skin, so to speak, and they all act as like the radiator for the human body? So the three parts of your body that keep you, that allow you to stay warm if you're cold, if you cover those three, you'll lose the least heat. And the three parts of your body that give away the most heat if you're trying to cool down are those three. So like a rag on the back of the neck does nothing. Dunking your whole body theoretically does less than just putting a cold compress on the hand or on the bottom of the foot or on the top of the head. It's like those three things, they're like life-changing in the
I did not know that. See, no, what I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
about
me
the
either. That's
hand,
interesting.
what I learned about the hand is that if it's bigger than your face, you're more susceptible to getting cancer.
and then you get slapped.
I'm my own worst enemy. See, I didn't need a bully growing up. I was my own bully. So no one messed with me in high school at all. That's a
Interesting.
lesson. That's a
Huh.
lesson there. That's a life lesson. All right, so I do have a question. Nami, on your hikes, did you ever find something that you went, oh, souvenir?
Yes.
right.
I would say when I was in Georgia, there's this area, like I went to the northern Georgia mountains, and there's this area called Providence Canyon, where it's like the mini Grand Canyon of Georgia. Like it literally looks like the Grand Canyon. And I've been to the Grand Canyon, but only like one portion of it. It was the
Okay.
South Rim. But in Georgia, I came across some nice like granite rocks. You know what I
Oh,
mean? And they're like, well, there's rocks everywhere in Georgia,
Yeah.
everywhere. So people were picking up rocks, looking at them, and then like they were taking like one or two with them because there's a bunch of rocks everywhere. So it doesn't hurt to like, take it. But normally
pocket of
on
rock.
hikes, if I see something, I always leave it there because sometimes you may be walking through an archaeological area and you don't know like what they're digging or what's in that area, especially here in Florida with a lot of the Indian artifacts and the
Yeah.
historical areas where it's either blocked off or not. But like I always leave stuff there. You know what I mean? Like whenever you go anywhere, they always tell us to just leave it the way it was. Look,
Oh.
take pictures, leave it the way it was.
I
Mhm.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Take
yeah.
only memories, leave only footprints, right?
Exactly. That's it. That's it.
All
And
right.
and like if you see like trash, pick it up while you're out there.
Makes
Mhm.
sense. It's kind of like in Mount. So have you guys heard this this new rule that it's not that new, but you guys know Mount Everest, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
heard
Okay,
about
so
it.
do you know what's one of the biggest problems in Mount Everest?
Dead bodies?
Besides green boots, which is one of the dead bodies, to know that you're too far off the trail, but
Mhm.
not that. What's actually a real plague is human feces.
What?
Hmm.
Huge problem in Mount Everest, to the point that
Huh.
seasoned mountain climbers will tell you to avoid Mount Everest like the plague because it's so riddled with it. It's disgusting. So what now the people in Nepal that are at the bottom of the mountain are telling white people that are coming in to come hike is like, look, you need to bring a bag and poop in the bag and bring it back down when you're done. You have to carry poop with you all the way up to the top of like however far you go to Everest, and you come right back down with it. And there's like a place where you're supposed to dispose of your feces after you're done with your whole trail up and down Everest. So
Do you get a nickel for that like you do with an empty bottle?
I wish but in Nepal, they don't have nickels.
So whatever it would be. Like
Yeah, whatever their currency
whatever
is,
it considers
I think it's
currency,
just opium.
So
That
is
can't
it
be right.
just the feces not decomposing
Yeah,
properly
because it's
based
so
on the
cold.
altitude? Okay.
Yeah, it's because it's so cold that it won't decompose. So it just sits there.
But doesn't
Oh,
it
that's
also
crazy.
contaminate their water supply?
It does.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but that's sitting up there.
Fucked up.
It really is. So when
Wow.
Mount Everest became such a tourist thing, so many people go from all around the world, from all walks of life that are able to afford to go all the way over there. They climb it and they just defecate on the mountain like it's nobody's business. I'm pretty sure they've done it by a dead body. Go, look, he ain't using it. Just fuck it.
Oh, that's crazy.
I mean,
That's like
I'm making
horror
a
movie.
joke. I'm making a joke there. Yeah, like that's
You
the last
never
thing.
know,
You
though.
poop
know what
by
I
a dead
mean?
body. That's gonna. I would attach to you. Be like, motherfucker, how dare you? You come up on my
Punch you.
body. You piss on
Punch
my
you all over.
boots.
Imagine if your anus like actually touched the dead body and your asshole was frozen to the body.
I would freak out. I would freak out if I would freak out if I felt like a finger. Like, whoa, what? You're supposed to be dead. He's like, I got you, bitch. I've been frozen this entire time. I'm only thawed out now.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
So
Yeah.
I got a question about hiking. In your hikes, and I'm not going to say I'm a professional hiker, but I took my fair share of hikes. I always find there's like a sort of like a euphoric feeling to it after a certain period of time. I'm curious, what is your most nirvana hike you've ever had?
Oh my gosh. I will say that it was in the Smoky Mountains. Like seriously, like the Smokies is so beautiful.
What
When
set it up for me? Make it like a plated
yeah,
food.
like imagine, right? Imagine waking up at the crack of dawn, okay? And you're walking with like your headlamp and you're just trying to hit the trail to just catch the sunrise, right? So you're walking and it's freezing cold, right? It's freezing cold. So you're going up the mountain, right? And then like you just start to warm up, you just start taking off clothes and you're just like, oh, this feels amazing. And as you're, climbing, like your body's warming up, and then you just see the sunrise coming above the mountains and the smell of pine just hitting your nose. Like it's amazing. And you just want to just stand there and just close your eyes and just, just
that's some
look at the
ASM
scenery.
That's some ASMR
You know what I mean?
shit right there, man.
You
took me there. I had my eyes closed and everything. And
No,
when you said you smelled the
seriously.
pine, I smelled the pine.
Yeah. Because like in Florida, like you don't smell pine as much. I've only smelled pine like maybe once. And that was on Weeden Island.
Okay.
Weeden Island and St. Pete. Like I found this hidden trail within a trail where I didn't see anybody. And I was just walking through this area and it didn't even look like Florida. I saw different types of plants and I smelled a bunch of pine, which was really fascinating. But I'm telling you, the Smoky Mountains, you smell pine everywhere. Like the smell changes, like the higher up you go. And the highest I've ever hiked was around 6,700 feet and the altitude. What? So that was the highest.
That's
that was
the highest I've ever been?
Yep, that was the highest I've ever been. You know what I mean? And that's like,
what would you equivalent that to? Was that like the
like
size of the
Empire State Building?
How high did you say that was?
6,700 or what?
Yeah. Yeah. And that was in the Smokies, but it just makes you feel good because a lot of people hit the trail for all types of reasons, like mental health. A lot of it is for mental health, to just release some stress and then, just to get away from people and just take a walk on the trail, relax. People on the trail are very nice because they're out there for the same reason with their families or even by themselves, like with like a lot of solo hikers. And it just makes you feel good. And since that time, I knew I wanted to be an avid hiker. I'm like, I have to get more of these types of like hikes where I'm on mountains. Like, of course, Florida's mainly flat, but just seeing a change in scenery, whether it's mountainous or rocky or just plain flat with palm meadows and palm trees, it's still the scenery that you normally don't get when you're living a very like monotonous lifestyle where you just wake up, go to work, run errands, come home, play video games all over again. You know what I mean? So it's just good to just get out. Oh yeah, I always do.
I knew it.
I was listening in earlier.
the highest one I've been on in Vermont was Equinox Mountain, and I just looked it up, and it's 3,855 feet. Probably not that accurate, but yeah, about 4,000 feet. And I can't imagine what you said 6,700 looks like.
Oh yeah,
38 was just insane. Like I can't estimate how many miles I could see, whether it was 15 or 50. Like it's a far, like you know what I mean. 8 different gradients of like that's far. That's far as hell. That's super far. That's
and
like
you realize how high up you're getting when you're looking over the cliff and you're like, oh wow, that's really far. That's a far drop. Let me just watch my footing when I cross this ridge line. You know what I mean?
I can't even count how long it would take my spit to hit. Like that's just far.
It'll probably dry up, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, gone in the wind.
You had to chuck a penny.
Yeah. But that mountain that I was on, it was like, I would say 12 miles. It was 12 miles. Wow. And it was an out and back trail. I had to go back the same way I came back up. Do
you have any interest to climb Everest?
No,
I would love to,
dude. I want to so bad. Like I'm 26.
No, you don't.
By 33, I'll be at prime age, prime testosterone.
You said it right the first time.
Did I? Testosterone?
Yeah, you did.
I don't
totally.
Okay.
Go with it. Go with your gut, man.
I'm going with it, bro. I really want to do that. That sounds fun. If you have money and you're in good shape, you could just pay to get a tour up there. But I think it's cool to get one of the cheap tours and be like, all Google researched up and be like, I know what I'm doing. Because there's a crazy ratio of weight to a expenditure of energy, and then the air that you use for that energy. And it's this insane fucking ratio, because 100% of the people who died past a certain point on Everest are there still, because the weight ratio of the air and expenditure of energy you have means you can't carry a dead body. Done. And the climate's too rough for a helicopter or a medevac chopper. So like if you die past a certain elevation, you will be a fossil. If you make it to the top, you will have passed like 200 bodies. Frozen.
Yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Well, they do say like one of the most famous one is this one called Green Boots. And that like he has yet to be identified who this person was. Is this and when you see a dead body, it's usually like a sign or mark that you've reached a certain height or you've gone off trail. You need to go back. It's stuff like
right?
that.
Imagine that, like you get lost and like in a movie, you know, you're like, oh, I found a cave for shelter, and you walk in, there's 9 frozen icicles, and you're like, fuck, man, like this was I doubt I'm gonna turn out better than them.
And it's kind of like a video game, right? Where you're like, if you had to go back and see all the lives that you did before this one, you're like, oh, okay, so this is where I died the last 9 times. So obviously I'm not making the best decision right now.
Shit.
And my problem is, you know, it's just like in video games. Like, you know how you want to follow the main quest, and you're like, oh, there's all these 20 different types of like side quests.
This
Okay,
one's way more interesting.
Right. Oh, I'll go on this one side trail, right? And then like you go on this side trail, and then that's when you're like, okay, I see this really cool view, and then like you gotta go back, and you're like backtracking a whole lot, and you're like, oh, here's one more side trail. My problem is side trails. Like I'll go off the trail to go investigate something, but I always come back to it, because once you're off trail, like that's it. Like you never want to run into that. It's with that on one situation when you can't get back to like the main trail. But there's so many people who get that altitude sickness as well. You know, the higher up you go, they usually have like camping spots, and that's a issue as well with Mount Fuji when it comes to folks hiking. They have to stop at a certain point at a camp to just get used to the altitude and then just continue upward. Then there's people who actually hike Mount Kilimanjaro. That's a crazy mountain.
That
right
one's
there.
yeah.
Is that like more revered than Everest?
It's definitely
I
harder.
believe so. Yeah,
Really?
it's definitely
Yeah,
harder. And you have to.
It's on the list now. It's on the list. You did it.
Oh yeah, you actually can pay the locals to guide you on the mountain, and they'll actually carry your stuff.
What language do they speak?
I forgot.
Where is Mount Kilimanjaro? It's not in Kilimanjaro, I take it.
I think it's
not.
I believe it's Tanzania. I believe it's in that area from
Good
Mount
old
Kilimanjaro.
Google's right here. Let's see how I spell Kilimanjaro.
Tanzania,
Yeah.
she got it right.
Wow, it's phonetic. I can't believe that. Kilimanjaro just sounds like it's K-I-L-L-A.
It has 3 volcanic cones.
Wow.
The highest mountain in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I actually
Summits.
met a woman on a trail. I went to a park in Newport Richey, and there was this lady who was walking with her family, and she ended up just chatting with me out of nowhere. And she was like, oh yeah, I've hiked on all continents, even Mount Kilimanjaro. I was like, say what? She was like, oh yeah, I hiked it. I was like, wow, you are my spirit animal.
Damn,
Wow,
That's amazing, because
look at this
a
right
lot
here.
of folks don't, complete that.
Oh, we're screen sharing now.
Yeah, no, just for a second, like that's the peak of Kilimanjaro, dude. They're so far above the clouds look low.
Yeah,
That's-
right? Isn't that crazy?
Holy crap, man! Like,
Yeah,
That's the
it's
home
it's
stretch.
amazing.
Man, look at that high definition on the snow there. It just looks like it sparkles and whatnot.
I can't imagine.
I want to
like,
eat it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I
You'd never
forgot
forget that.
how high that mountain is,
It
but
says
it's
5,800 meters. So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it's high.
yeah, and so I got right here tours and activities. Yeah, Kilimanjaro plateau hike, $358. Climbing the Lemosho route is 2,307, and it's with a 4-wheel drive ATV and off-road, and that takes 9 days.
Damn, that's crazy. Well, you know what else is crazy is what Kilimanjaro translates to in English.
Crazy ass hike.
No, this is nuts. Look at this. This is what it means. All right, check this out. This is what it means.
What's it mean?
These nuts. Got him.
So
Got him.
just look at this real quick. And I'm sorry, Nami, if screen sharing is lost on a phone. I don't know if it's working well.
Oh yes, I can see it very well.
Okay. So look at this. When you're on Google and you're looking at Kilimanjaro, the whole top lines is giraffes and elephants, and the moon is just radiance. And then you scroll down a little bit, and it's a rapper. And it's named Kilimanjaro. They're very well divided.
Look at that. No, I love it. Yeah, that's the algorithm working right
any
there.
of them. They're like, people came for the mountain. They don't need to see this guy. This guy's like, they didn't come for the mountain. Here.
Now the question is Kilimanjaro from Tanzania? And he just went, all right, this is who I gotta be like the mountain. That's how I spit fire. My spit fire as tall as these mountains.
Wow. There's a picture on here that says it's Kilimanjaro's 50th anniversary in 2019. So he's been rapping since 1979.
A long time.
Damn, that's a long time to be rapping, man. Not even Grandmaster Flash has been rapping that long. Damn.
Wow.
I can't even. All right, so I do got a question for Nami about hiking places. So my wedding anniversary is coming up in October. It's going to be my first year with my wife, and we're going to this place called, I don't know if I can pronounce it right, South Carolina, and we're going to this place called Charleston. Is there any? Do you know any places to hike in Charleston?
Okay, Leon.
That's good.
No, being for real. Is there any places to hike in Charleston? Do you know any?
Well, actually, to help you out, which is what I've been doing. Okay,
right, hit me.
Get the app called AllTrails.
AllTrails.
Get the app called AllTrails. It's available on Android, Apple. If you go on there, and it's free to get, type in whatever area, and it will show you all the hikes for that state.
Groovy. Now it's called AllTrails, and it's available on iPhone and is there a Windows Phone 10 version of that? Because I have Windows 10 still. Windows Phone 10. I'm still rocking my Windows Phone 10.
I just saw that link you sent me, Leon. He sent me a link predating this entire Everest conversation. When we started about
it's
poop.
From 15.
There's 10 tons of poop on Everest.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Tons.
And it's I think it's the European ton because it's got two N's. Or maybe that's the American ton that I don't use, but I don't know. It's got 10 TONNES.
All right, so I'm gonna check out this app called
I'm telling you, AllTrails, it's a godsend. I'm telling you, it has everything. Even if you're not a hiker and you just want to go on a trail to just run. Yeah,
I want to do.
Even if you want to just run.
I'll tell you about why she wants to do all. She wants to go up there. She wants to have an adventure. I'm sitting here going every time she goes, "Do you want to go to this place?" My first question is there underground luchador wrestling? I need to know. This is the first place I want to, because like one day that's gonna be right. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we're going to St. Louis, or like one day, like, oh, we're gonna go to like Richmond, Virginia. And just when I asked that question, someone's gonna say in a restaurant, yes, there is actually underground luchador wrestling. What you need to do is you need to go to this bar called Pucker. You want to go to the back door. There's gonna be a guy named Javier, and then what you want to say is this code, and he's gonna let you in, and boom, luchador wrestling.
Luchador wrestling.
A greatest day of my life.
I love
specifically, son.
You just have to hope you don't end up in one of those wrong turn movies, which are apparently very prolific. I just saw the one that recently came out. That's nonetheless spoilers. It's an entire movie about like people getting lost in the woods and woods people like kidnapping them, and like, you know what I mean, you don't get to leave. You're not part of the community. It's like super culty, but with trees. You know, there's like 7 of them, and they've been coming out since the 70s. Like, I didn't know about it. I watched. The first
wrong turn came out in 2005.
Are you sure? Someone at work told me there's like 10
know.
of the
I'm so
things.
sure, bro. I'm sure as I am black. All right, it's that.
So you're not sure at all,
son. No, what are you talking about?
You're bronze. You already said this twice on tape.
No, on the outside, not on the inside. No,
you can't quantify.
I'm
what
JJ
color
Walker
on the
inside, son. I'm telling you. All right.
Okay. Well, the color of my inside is J.K. Rowling. Okay. So what are you gonna do about that? If we can choose colors, my color is a person.
You
know what I mean? You
To
get,
quote-
you get a little wild. I'm gonna get
To
really
quote
wild.
Aretha Franklin, "You do you, dog."
I think I've seen like the first 3 like wrong turn movies. And whenever I'm in the woods, I've been caught in the woods at night. It's no fun. It's
No.
no fun.
Yo.
It makes you like think of all the worst horror movies. Like I thought of Blair Witch. I've seen twigs look like crosses. I forget what that term is called, but I've seen like weird twigs as they're falling down. They form like a crisscross or something way high above in the trees. I feel like I'll hear something or it's just dead silence out there.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
creepy. All right. So to the
Unfortunately, you're right. Yeah, I've got it on. I've got
2003.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You
I know,
owe
I
me
know.
heroin, buddy. So send it my way. Go on.
Jesus, going all Dr. Carl Hart on us. Like, fuck.
It's the only way I can process feelings.
I know. But no, you're right. That's my coworker told me that. Oh no, okay.
Is this
Yeah,
the
no,
same?
you're right.
Is this
Yeah,
the
you're
one
right.
that's like that? It's
No.
Trump's talks to Jesus coworker, or is
No.
that coworker, or is this
Wait,
another coworker?
you got
This is a
coworker that
different-
talks to
Okay.
Jesus?
Dude, I have a coworker who me and him we have 10-minute breaks like every 2 hours, which because our work is super nice to us.
With his shirt off, by the way, guys. Just so you remember, shirt is off.
Every minute. No, actually, realistically, I've only taken it off once. Like there was only one moment. It was like 75 and just stupid humid, and I was like, I need the 10% whoosh. You know what I mean? Like I like keeping my shirt on. That's part of going to work for me. You know what I mean? Other people, if they
I work in an office, I pop it off all the time. I'm just like, yo, enjoy
I
the
do
show.
the tie. I take off the undershirt. I put the vest on the back of my chair.
And then I look out and I look at someone catching eye on me and I go, take a picture. It'll last longer.
But no, yeah, I have a coworker so I'm the only one at my job and that who voted for Biden, like the only one at my entire job. Every single other person there is like someone who would have been storming the Capitol. And so I scream at them about them being Trump followers. I'm like, yo, guys, I respect your beliefs because you can believe what you want. Frankly, I'm not into politics more than I need to be. Until like we live in a first world country. I'm very blessed. I'm thankful and grateful for everything we have. But I'm not going to be, fear mongered by CBS and PV. You know what I mean? Like I not, the news networks. I can't do it. So, but they scream about Trump every day. And they're like, literally every day, he's like, Biden's ruining the country. He's taking our guns. He's doing this. He's doing this. And on top of this, he's like the most devout Jesus lover. And yet again, choose whatever religion you want. I don't care, frankly. But like he looks at my tattoo, my newest tattoo I did on my hand from an anime that's like wrapped into philosophy and love and care and like makes me really happy. And he's like, bro, that's demonic. You got to get rid of that. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, and so in like a relatable way, I've been like, man, you know how many religions exist? Like, not to shit on you, but like in other parts of the world, like Greeks, I love their gods. Like they have tons of gods and they're not like monotheistic. They're polytheistic. It's so cool, but like, Catholic people, man, like there's just something about them that's like most of them are like take it with a grain of salt and the best people in the world. And then there's some of them who are like ringing your doorbell and they're like, I have 3 pamphlets you should read. It's like, no, bro, I know what a platitude
I never
is.
had that with a Catholic coming up to my door. I've had Jehovah's Witnesses. I've had
I mean,
women,
conversationally, like
okay,
maybe not to
conversationally.
my door, but like
all right.
I've never had a Jehovah's Witness talk to me at Hannaford, but I've totally heard about Jesus at Hannaford. You know what I mean? Like or Shaw's, whatever grocery store you have. I don't know. Like I said, to each their own. It's just we are so opposed on that. Like I'm not pro Biden. I think the dude's got a lot of issues. Like I'm not pro anyone, but I'm the enemy of the enemy is my friend. And dude, I just communicate, and I say the same thing to them. Communication is my number one thing. You're entitled to whatever belief and paradigm and principle you want to live by. To me, it's communication. You can elicit incorrect communication and be an asshole, and I will still respect you for communicating. Like that's how much I love communication. I would rather false.
Preach, man, preach.
Yeah, man. But Trump, man, every day he was screaming on the news.
Amen.
And I was like, I have a 3-year-old, bro. Like, you know what I mean? She can't listen to this. Like, he's just crazy. Good for the unemployment, good for freaking military. He gave him a lot of budgets. He did a lot of good things, but he ran his mouth. And so I take it all away from him. And that's where we stand. And so I scream at them at work and they go Biden lover. And then I yell I'm Trump supporter. And then we all scream at each other at break. It's a whole thing.
Wow, what a thing, man.
It's a dynamic.
I'm glad I had one coworker. She's gone now. They fired her.
They fired her.
not for the reasons you think. It's because all right. First off, she got fired. Let me put it to you this way: she got fired at 2:15. She left the office at 4:35.
That's a long poop.
That is very much a long poop because she did everything she possibly could to stay in that office. And my boss is going, I've been here for 2 hours. You need to freaking go already. But anyways, she would just sometimes spout off how, first of all, she's Israeli, and she would just go off about Israel and Palestine all the time. And I'm just sitting here going, I don't care. I'm at work right now.
Yeah, like I don't watch
This is not the
channels.
venue.
Come on.
This is not the venue for this discussion. And then she talks about how Biden's taking our guns. And then remember, that was the one time. And I texted you and I'm like, do you still got your guns, Ricky? And you're like, yeah. And I go, all right, so she's full of shit.
No, dude, there's so much just echo chambering, you know what I mean? It just literally, and I'm guilty to it too, because like my echo chamber is one of which where I'm happy. Like I'm playing the games I want to play, watching the movies I want to watch. I'm reminiscing on what I want to reminisce. And if I see something I don't like, I go to next. Like I haven't downloaded TikTok yet because I find that app infuriating. It's like the algorithm in the app is if you like it, it shows you more of it. So when I'm sitting next to like the you know what I mean, the Catholic lover, Trump supporter, who's a great guy, by the way. Like honestly, I'd go have beers with him. He's a cool guy, and he's a great worker too. He just
politically, you're just on an opposite.
Politically
stance.
And
that's
religiously,
that's all that is.
We're on different boats. You know.
There you go. It's fine.
You know, I believe in philosophy. He has Jesus. Like you know, we rely on different things when we had dark.
Where I'm
moments.
from, we call him Jesus.
Jesus. You know, but I lost my point. But Jesus, man, there's I just wish everyone could be happy, and everyone in Vermont is crazy, man. Like this is like the North South. I lived in Texas, and there was a lot of repression and a lot of racism, and it's like it's worse here because it's smaller towns. Wow. So like it's just like this entire group of old people. You know what I mean? Like in New Hampshire, I had my buddy from Boston come down, who's like a freaking 260-pound, foot long dreaded African, and you know what I mean? He gets looked at like crazy. In Vermont, it's like it has to be less than 1% of black people south from like the median of the state. In the north, like Burlington is one of the most diverse places in the world. There's Muslims and Africans and whites. There's also all sorts of people in Burlington. But in southern Vermont, it's scary. Like 3,000 people towns, and there's like a car of you know what I mean, certain races. And so people are so not used to seeing other people that, you know what I mean, you get that snide little whispering, you know what I mean? It's like, this is insane. You know what I mean? Like this, you know what I mean? This is 2021. People are fighting over changing their race. I mean, their gender, and you're still fighting about race. Like this ain't the 60s. Like we're not.
That reminds me of when I was in Alabama, because when I was
I know this, man. I feel like I know where this is going. Continue.
Yeah, please. How's Alabama?
Okay, so when I was heading to North Georgia to go hike, right, I was passing through northern Florida, and I decided to take the scenic route in my driving efforts because I want to see more of the land. There are instances where I was like, is there a gas station coming up?
You were missing the corn. You just wanted to see more corn.
Right. So I'm driving and I decide to like do this waterfall hike in Alabama. And that's what I've noticed too. Like when it comes to hiking, there's not a lot of diversity on the trail. So a lot of people are trying to make all the trails more diversified. It's like, like a majority like white people on there. And then like you might see like a few Indians, and you'll see like some Asians and like some Hispanics and stuff like that. So it's cool that more and more people are trying to get outdoors. So as you guys may have heard, a lot of the national parks are starting to become more overcrowded because people were going there, during the pandemic, and it's even more crowded now, where I'll see pictures and I'm like, wow, like these parks are very, very crowded. But, anyway, back to Alabama. When I was in Alabama, I didn't see like any franchise restaurants. It was all small town, local restaurants, local eateries. And I'm like, okay, I'll try this. So I couldn't like Yelp for anything just to see if a place was good or not. I was limited on options because I'm in the mountains. I'm just trying to figure out what to eat. So I went to this one pizza spot at this bar, And as soon as I walked up front, everybody looked at me. I felt like everyone's eyes were on me. And I'm like, okay, I know I look good, but dang, like, I had to
Dang, this
really look-
good? Wow.
This is how I feel when I
I
go to
was
the
like-
beach, by the way, guys. Every day.
In your
Yeah.
bronze
Yeah.
skin.
Yep.
Because I was like trying to make myself more confident because I don't like people staring at me. And I'm just like, okay, what is it? You know what I mean? So I'm walking in there and like folks are like, oh, where are you from? What makes you come to this, area? And I'm
You
like,
ain't from
oh,
around
I
here,
hike."
are you?
Right. And they just look at you and they're like, why is she here? You know what I mean? And then I saw this girl, she wore a some kind of like rap t-shirt. I think it was like Snoop Dogg or something like that. And I'm like, okay, she seems pretty safe. You know what I mean? She seems very, very, very,
I saw that and I
friendly.
felt safe immediately.
Yeah.
Like, okay, because everyone there was like, I'm predominantly white and I'm just looking at everyone like, oh, hey, how are you? Whatever. It seemed like everybody knew everyone there anyway. But people were asking me like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, oh, Florida. I'm here for hiking. And as soon as I said hiking, everything changed. They just started giving me tips, telling me where to go. And they're like, oh, you're here for hiking? Oh, awesome. Perfect place to go hiking. Have you been here? Is this on your list? It's like the more that they get to know you and the more that they actually speak to you and see why you're there, it makes them kind of, I don't know, it made me more approachable, I guess.
Yeah,
because
like
they were
more
okay,
real,
she
more
seems-
real to them.
Yeah, more
I-
real. Like I wasn't there passing through. I was there to actually see their area. And then when I went back to my hotel to check in, same thing. Oh, what brings you here to these parts? And I'm just like, oh, I'm here for hiking. They're like, oh, okay. They're like,
I can only
go
imagine.
here.
I can only imagine the post conversations after you left where they go, "Wow, she's here for hiking. Wow, neat." It's like, "Oh, it was a black woman. Yeah, how neat was that?"
Exactly.
Can't you believe that, Clyde? I know a black woman. we never see them around here.
Right. And then when I checked out 3 days later, they're like, oh, you have to come back. Come back here now, okay? Come back. Go here next time. I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you. It's just insane just to, because I'm guessing they don't get a lot of people there that are there for hiking. It's probably people there to just stop by or just passing through and whatnot. But there are people who have to hit those areas if they're doing through hikes,
Interesting.
Yeah, no, there's so much like so Spencer, not to dox you, but you've openly brought it up. You're from New York, right? You know what I mean? Used to the city life.
He's from New York. I gotta write that down.
I mean, what's your IP? Does it begin with New York? But no, so like, bro, so first of all, I live above a pizza place. If I loaded a shotgun and shot below where my sink is, I could totally knock out someone making a pizza. I live directly above a pizza place.
Man, God willing, it never comes down to that.
Like, if someone's breaking in my door and there's a fire and I can't get out any wall, I'll shoot a circle on the floor and just hope no one's standing there, like Resident Evil. But no, so I live literally above a pizza place, which is so ironic, but I can't get pizza delivery.
Wait, what?
Like, say what?
I live in a 4,000 person town, and I don't really know the number, but I'm fucking positive it's not more than that. Okay, I'm fucking positive. In New Hampshire, I lived in a 5,000 person town, and it feels like a freaking epicenter to the world compared to where I live right now. And so, literally, like after 10 p.m., gas pumps stop working. Someone asked me to drive to the hospital one night, and I was on E, so I fucking slide my debit card in, drive to the next gas station, drive to the next gas station. I literally drove on fumes to the hospital because until you get to the Rutland, Vermont, which is like as far as the middle of the state at 50% goes, it's the closest city to that, like the big city where you have tons of stores, and it has the only 24-hour store in like 35-40 miles. And that's saying something, because in Vermont, all the towns are mapped out strategically about 7 miles apart from each other to 10 miles, because that's as far as you could go on one day's journey on a horse with a whole amount of people.
This before.
And so literally, like, I live in Poultney. And then 7 to 10 miles south of me is Wells. And then 7 to 10 miles south of there is Paulette. And then 6 or 7 miles south of that is Dorset. And it's continuously like these, you're in the middle of fucking nowhere. You're surrounded by trees. Like literally you're expecting to see Bigfoot. And then all of a sudden you pop out to one little tiny store that sells bagels and a gas pump. And then 10 miles later, you get it again. And it's like the most beautiful motorcycle riding and hiking. You know, there's so many rock faces I want to climb, and there's a decent enough cell service. I think I'm going to stream the rock climbing, but nonetheless, it's like, yeah, I can't get pizza delivery. If I download Uber Eats or any version of it, or even Uber, it says this is not available in your area yet because there's no one who's on it, who's driving, or like, so you're not going to get Uber Eats or Uber.
Wow.
No one's on it. Like
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Freaking nuts.
Right.
I can't get an Uber. Not in Vermont. It's like super crazy.
He literally has to drive to another town over to get it.
Oh,
That's
not even another town. Like honestly, unless I were to leave the state, and I'm the bordering town to New York. The next town south of me is New York, and I still can't get an Uber. That town is so Vermonted by proximity. There's no one.
Right.
Yeah.
Why can't you
So we dock
call-
Spencer for this. Okay.
He's brought up he's from New York. He's talked about restaurants in fucking Times Square.
Yeah.
Have you seen bears out there, Richard?
The only spot I've ever seen a bear is in Vermont. Yeah, it ran across the street from me, like while I was driving my truck, and I was like, "Holy shit, it's a bear!" And it was a really small one, but I was like, "Holy shit, it's a bear!"
Was it like a black bear or
Yeah,
or
yeah,
a
it was
grizzly?
black.
Oh, okay, black bear.
Yes. I think we
Nice.
predominantly have blacks. Grizzlies are the I
Mm.
think they're either more northern, like
Oh, okay.
Alaska.
See,
I don't
down
know.
here, so down here where we're at, we have coyotes, right? That's what we got. And then if you go where I'm at, and you go a little bit north, and you hit this place called not Tarpon Springs, but you like getting close to it, you get to these neighborhoods where it's just overrun with deers. This is like nothing but deers, like bucks, deers, and they're just chilling. You just drive, and like one guy just said, when I was driving, he goes, "You gotta drive real slow, because sometimes these deers, they will run. They will just run across the street." It's like I just wants to get home from banana drinking. It's like, but you gotta drive slow. Yeah, that's not. I don't think I've ever seen. I saw a fox one time. My wife lost her shit.
Only one time. I see foxes like that's predominant in Vermont.
But
Tons of
we're in
fox.
Florida, and Nami, have
Yeah,
you
but
ever seen a fox
can't,
here?
I can't see a
In-
gecko, and you haven't
in-
fucking
oh,
fallen out of trees.
I'm saying, but like we in here in we're Champa Bay now. We're not Tampa Bay. We're
Tampa
Champa Bay. We're Champa Bay. Okay, because they brought home the 2021 Stanley Cup. We're champs over here now. Deal with it, Montreal.
Yeah, I've never seen a fox down here. I've
It's-
seen a coral snake. I've seen gators.
Ooh, I love
I
snakes.
almost walked into a gator because
Crocodiles
it
are
was so
bullshit.
camouflaged.
Didn't you take a
We
picture
should all
of
own
that?
crocodile boots. They're bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
animals. They're overpopulated.
Yeah,
They're dinosaurs that need to go.
but I kid you not, I was walking to this lake and I'm like, oh, this is a beautiful lake, right? I'm crossing the street and I see this ranger and I'm like, why is he just sitting on this? Like, why is he just sitting there? Like, and so he's like, you may want to be careful. And it was a gator like within a few feet of me. I almost lost it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not even see it. But I mean, I've seen like gators. I've seen really nice birds and like osprey. I saw the coral snake that actually crossed my path, and that kind of freaked me out because that's a very deadly poisonous snake.
We have osprey in
Well,
Vermont. They're gorgeous birds.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
I want
it's
one.
very rare to see them feeding as well. Like I saw one actually feeding in this
Oh, wow.
tower above me. It just caught a fish and it was just feeding it, and there was this photographer just taking pictures of it. But believe it or not, we do have bison in Florida.
Wow, I've never seen a
Yes.
Further north.
bison. That's crazy.
Mhm.
They're super environmentally friendly in Vermont too. Like they, the power company, the whole entire state is ran by an independent power company called Green Mountain Power, and they set up osprey nests off the sides of telephone poles that have no wires to them, like 500 feet off the wires, because otherwise the ospreys will nest on the wires, and then when they have to work on them, they have to remove the nest, and it bothers the birds. So they're so conscious with it,
right.
they put their a telephone pole for the bird, an
I get
8
mad
foot
too
by
if
8
someone
foot
messes with my home.
platform. It's so cool, man. Seeing, they're so nature friendly out here, but they're not very racially friendly.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But
Wait, the ospreys or the power company?
the locals.
Oh, I get
Yeah.
it. They hate clowns.
Yeah, dude. Another thing. So, like, do you guys lock your car and do you guys like, no
Oh
one,
hell yeah.
yeah, you probably lock your door at night too, right?
Oh hell
Oh,
yeah.
yes, you
That's a
have to.
really
Oh, yeah.
common thing no one does in Vermont. Like, honestly, I roll up to a gas
Say what?
station and there's a brand new 2019 Beamer, convertible, purse on the seat, iPhone in the cup holder on. And she's been in the store talking for 15 minutes because I've been smoking a joint across the street. Like, compared to living in the city, like, I had 3 chop shops within a mile of me. And none of them were legal. None of them. All I had to do was get in your car and drive it there, and your car would not exist. And I would have money for the next few weeks. Like, that's how just
Crack.
Yeah, like for crack. So I don't have to steal Nikes. I can buy them. But yeah, no, I spent a lot of time in Roxbury and like Section 8 projects and shit growing up when I was a teenager. And it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Perspective is something you can't buy. And
I
like,
will tell you,
It's true. Yeah.
the last house that I lived in before this one, we had 2 locks, but one of them was like the doorknob lock, and then there was the latch.
Yeah.
So we I don't know what happened, but we got into this really bad habit where we weren't putting the latch on. And I was doing Uber at the time. I was driving late night, and my wife wasn't in the house. She actually was in downtown. She was at a bar, and she was chilling because she wanted to get out of the house that night just because I'm out. She goes, I'm going to go hang out somewhere. So she goes to the local bar to hang out with some friends that were there. And I come back. So the story goes like this. I'm coming back to the house, not by choice, but because someone spat up in the back seat of my car. So I went back to the house to clean it up real quick and get back out on the road. I've done it plenty of times. Works every time, 100% of the time. I go to my house, and the first thing I noticed was like this wreath was on the floor that was hanging. I was hanging out my door was on the floor. When I went to go pick it up, my head bumped the door. The door opened up.
bum bum bum.
And then I saw a glimpse of what happened. And it was just an absolute disarray. The first thing I said was, if you're still in my house, you have time to vacate. I am armed and I'm called 911. And I just like had to walk into, luckily no one was out. No one else was in the house, but they were clearly looking for money because they took my tablet. They took a PlayStation Portable. And I think they took 2 watches that really weren't worth that much. And they were most likely just doing it. But funny enough, behind my bookcase was $100 in cash. They missed that. They fucking wrecked my Dragon Balls. They like ripped open, like pulled.
That's what you call them, huh?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
dude,
That's what I call them.
There's so
What's
much
it to you, Ricky?
There's so much humor to me attached in like Burglary, and I don't know why, but like when I was a kid, Dane Cook and his when he was
the
super
B&E
big
bit.
Yeah, dude, that B&E bit had me fucking riling since a kid. And there's another bit that I've seen on Facebook from Dry Bar Comedy, which I've seen like every video from. And it's humor about breaking into someone's place, but like not in a mean way. And it's like it's so fucking funny, or not someone breaking into someone's place, but it's a bit about someone breaking into your place and being in your place. And so like, you know what I mean? You come downstairs and the bed's unmade and you're like, why the fuck do you make my bed? And your buddy's like, I didn't. You know what I mean? He's like, no, stop fucking with me. You did. And he's like, no, I didn't. And then
Who keeps changing the Wi-Fi password?
It was so fucking funny, man. You know what I mean? Like they searched the whole house looking for the person, didn't find a person, fuck it, scared, drunk, went to bed, woke up, and the person was sitting on their steps eating their cereal. And they were like, oh my God. Like we searched the whole house looking for them, didn't find them. And it was the most hilarious bit, man. And like every time I see it on Facebook, I know exactly what will be said and I have to listen to the whole thing. Because it's fucking, it's
one of those things, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I get it.
It's the same thing as that school humor. That guy who makes the Peloponnesian War joke. It's so fucking rich. He has a whole skit about it, and it's.
You know what I want to know? I want to know. Like we're getting close to that 10-minute mark here, and we got like whatever time left. I mean, I'm good for at least another like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You guys want, but we never really asked. What's the Bruce Wayne to Batman origin story that Nami has that got her into hiking and traveling? I want to know what's the Batman story there. Like, what's the origin story?
That's a weird analogy because I don't even know Batman's
I-
version
I-
of being
oh
Batman.
my
I mean,
gosh.
I've been fridged, and we'll go over that term later. I've been fridged. We'll go over that term later. I yield my time to Nami.
Well, as far as like my origin story, oh gosh, man,
Like zhuzh
that's
it
a
up a
tough
little.
one, dude.
I need you to zhuzh it up. If you gotta falsify some things, please
Yeah,
go ahead.
We need a little je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, a little
Je
zhuzh.
ne sais quoi.
You gotta go a little dramatic. I'm okay with this.
Good.
Well, how I got into, the whole thing, I will say I ran into a bear on a mountain. I was on a mountain. I was running away from some people, and I encountered a bear on the mountain. I had nothing else with me but just a dagger and just my t-shirt. So I'm crawling on my knees.
I love
on
that you
this
carry
mountain.
a dagger, though.
Yes,
You
I have a
to.
dagger.
It's a very
Yes,
convenient
yes.
weapon.
I'm carrying my dagger on the mountain, and I'm already sweaty and tired, blisters on my feet from running away from these people
Oh my
who
goodness.
killed my parakeet. And you know that I'm a bird lover. You know I'm a bird
She
lover.
loves birds.
They killed
bro.
my
Oh
parakeet. They
God.
killed my parakeet. So what
Those
do?
Parakeeters.
I go hard on that mountain. So all these people are just chasing me hardcore, right? Chasing
Right.
me. And I don't care. I'm running miles and miles on this mountain, setting up traps for them, setting up traps.
Boom, 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 boom.
Boom, 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 setting up traps, wires, everything. I even found a bear that I ran into, and this bear saw me and I saw it. And you know what I do? I have it chase me. No bear spray.
I know
bear
the
spray not
strategy.
even needed.
I know
Bear
the
spray
strategy.
not even needed.
Boom.
So I have this bear following me, right? I'm crossing this ridge line slowly, okay?
What?
Slowly.
Uh-huh.
The bear actually found a way to get around the ridge line.
Oh my God.
So
it's the bear
he's
from
following
Leonardo
me, right?
DiCaprio's
Follow
Revenant.
me, right? And then I almost slipped. I almost slipped on like a few rocks, right? I'm like, oh shit, you know what I mean? So then I'm crossing this ridge line, and the bear meets me in front of my actual trail. He's like meeting me in front of the trail. Somehow the people who were chasing me caught up to me, right?
Mm.
From like way behind me. I'm like, oh dang it, they're behind me.
Why
So
are people chasing you? Just from mid story.
No, stop.
No.
You don't stop the flow. Keep.
Okay.
So people are chasing me, right? Again, people are chasing me, and I'm trying to get back at them because they killed my parakeet. So I'm on the mountain. The bear is in front of me on this trail, a black bear, and it's a mama black bear, okay?
Ooh.
And she's looking for her cub.
Oh.
Where is her cub? Okay, where is her cub? The people who are chasing me killed her cub, and
Plot twist.
they have
I'm
her
missing
cub
so many
scent
details.
on them. Okay, they have the cub scent on her. So they're behind me. She's in front of me, angry because she's like, "Who killed my cub?" Right? So what I do is I run towards the people with my dagger. So they think that I'm running back at them. Okay, and I had the bear chasing right behind me. So I slid down the mountain. I slid down the grassy area of the mountain just to get further down the trail. And then she ends up attacking them. Okay.
Boom.
Because she smelt the
Bang.
cub scent on them. Okay.
Oh.
So she attacks them. All right. So then I slide down the mountain. I run into more people who were after me. Okay. And then I found the person who actually killed my parakeet further down the mountain.
Oh,
So I go
man.
down the mountain, still have my dagger. Then I came across my katana that I dropped before running up the mountain. I'm like,
Now you're
shit, my
Michonne.
katana. Yes, I'm Michonne, found my katana. So I put my dagger in my mouth, grab my katana, and then I head towards the guy who killed my parakeet. So when I killed the guy with the parakeet, I'm the guy who killed my parakeet. Once I killed him, then I was slicing and dicing all the other people that were in my path, just so that I can survive. Blisters on my feet,
Damn.
bleeding everywhere, only wearing a t-shirt because I'm going hardcore, because I don't care. I'm on the mountain. This is my territory. This is my nature. This is what I'm doing. And then I go down the mountain because where else can I go but to the top? But I'm not going to the top because the bear's up there killing the other people. So all I
Bobby.
can do is go back down the mountain so that I can get back to safety. So when I got back down to the mountain, I ended up taking one of their vehicles, and then I head home.
Boom.
But what's the movie title?
The movie title is How Nami Came Back.
Boom. Hyphen
Fantastic.
or hold on, colon Electric Boogaloo.
Semicolon.
And
Mike.
also the reason why the people were following me and why they were chasing me was because I found a hidden cave that had something that they were looking for.
Their extended warranty for their vehicle because it's about to expire.
Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, there's this hiker who's been everywhere. She knows this trail that nobody will go on. And they were looking for something specific on this trail that led to this cave.
There you go. Do you need not know more?
I know enough.
That's
Now
like
you know.
127 hours meets the Goonies.
Meets the Revenant. The Reverent or Revenant?
The Revenant.
The Revents.
The
Revenant.
Reviant.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Reviation.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's how you do a Batman origin story, Rick. You see that?
That's
how you do
for
it.
the first like little bit I was following along, and then I got so lost in context overlapping.
Sometimes you just have to throw your suspension of disbelief has to be so done well that when something happens, you just have to ignore and keep going. Like that's how I did it with Ultraviolet. Terrible movie. But if I just turned off my brain and just said, all right, it's just a sexy vampire fighting other vampires.
Well,
All
that's
right,
the same logic pedophiles are using nowadays, because it's not a 12-year-old,
Wow.
it's a 2,000-year-old elf.
What a 2,000-year-old elf.
Wow.
What a guy.
That's such a thing on
Oh, yeah.
Reddit. It's like you guys may not hang out on Reddit when you're bored, but every night I turn on my camera and I sit in some chat and talk to 8 other people with cameras on and listen to 9 other people throwing racial slurs because they're 11 and they haven't been, through real world experience yet. But it's like the funniest little culture pocket of the entire world because you can just join from anywhere. So we'll have a guy join who's got an accent and I'm like, where are you from, bro? Like, holy crap. I can't even put my finger on it, and it's
Or in him.
no, I definitely can't do that, They had
John
that song Kiss
Malkovich?
Me Through the Phone. I cannot finger him.
Oh, is it John Malkovich?
Are we in John Malkovich?
Does he have a good accent?
Does he have a good accent? Have you seen Rounders?
No.
Red? We've been, oh my
I
God.
just finished a new
Not doing this
audiobook,
again.
bro. It was such a good book. Do you guys listen to audiobooks ever?
No, I read.
I'm actually listening to the
read,
one
he
about
says.
Sharon Stone.
I have a job. I
Oh,
can't
that
read.
sounds amazing. Now,
Dude,
did you know-
dude, she's fucking interesting as heck.
I want to listen to the audio. I want to listen to the audiobook where it's a Dungeons and Dragons novel, but it's
Yeah.
read by Ice-T. I want to read that. I want to
Dope as
listen to
fuck.
Ice-T narrate Dungeons and Dragons to me. It's just like,
Yeah,
so
and
he went in. He goes like, he went in there. He draws his sword out. He says to him that now, Elf King, I'm going to take you down. It's not personal. It's just business.
It's just business.
And
No, and I wanted Gandalf to read the Lord of the Rings fucking audiobook, but he didn't, and that was disappointing. But I'm not realizing the
I think I
depth
got
some
too much time.
the depth some people have with their voice. Like, do you guys all feel like you sound different than you sound? Like, you've
Yeah.
heard the recorded version of yourself.
Yeah,
And
of course.
then you know that that's a little different than the real version, but
Yeah.
still what you hear is not
Mhm.
what other people hear. And so like
Exactly.
as a musician, I'm trying to learn how to sing, and rapping is easy. I can choose any accent and then use
Oh,
the
he'll
little
spit bars
equalizer.
all day.
I won't.
Wow. I'm trying to build you up. I'm a good hype man. Get me on the mic. I'll be like,
Give me-
yeah.
That would be dope, man. Spit some bars, man. That
Oh
would be
my
dope.
god. I'm getting the whole setup perfect. I've been writing for like 12 years and I love it. Music is my favorite thing.
All
And
right.
I've been
So what's happening with the singing though? So
No, but so that's the thing. So like in rap, like my voice isn't like, I know rappers who have the weirdest voice, but if the song is good enough, it's like, oh wow, like you built a masterpiece. And so that's not the premise. And so I'm not worried about my R&B or my rap skill. But when it comes to like trying to sing a song, whether it be punk or alternative or rock or country, I smoked Marlboro Reds for 11 years, fucking cowboy killers. A year ago, when I first quit cigarettes, I would try to sing and I would go past like a 3 out of a 10 climbing down my diaphragm. And I'd be like, phlegm. And now I've got like 100% better. Like I feel like I can actually sing for my lungs a little bit. but I sound like Adele is being
You gotta sing
strangled.
from the
You
diaphragm.
know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah, I was just about to ask, guys. Isn't it from the diaphragm?
You sing from the diaphragm, not from the lungs. That's your
yeah.
first
dude,
mistake.
you're not supposed to sing from the throat. You're supposed to sing from the innards.
Yeah, the diaphragm, not the
diaphragm.
lungs.
It's a whole muscle.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have a fucking string to pull.
You gotta be like,
Oh, it's got multiple
Yeah,
strings.
you gotta like, you gotta
Well,
feel
it's
it
a
like,
muscle.
like
I have such a disconnect. I feel
Yeah, fucking belt that shit like Meatloaf.
like that.
Like
Yeah,
Meatloaf.
like exactly like Meatloaf.
I feel like I hear myself on such a different level than I actually like speak, you know, and that's what will come down to editing. Once I'm going to use the same editing app I use for the podcast at first, and I'm going to buy a beat from a guy who makes beats on YouTube that I love and puts them with professional musicians. And I'm going to rap over it, knowing the tempo that someone else would sound good. And the first time I do that is going to be like the awakening moment, because it's going to be like, this is the worst I will ever sound with the least amount of experience I will ever have on the first rendition of the rest of my career. And it's like, I'm so happy about that, because even if it sounds guttural and gross and you viscerally want to punch me through the phone, you know what I mean? Like, that's fine, because like that's step one. Like, you didn't get to the top of your staircase by starting in the middle. Like, you were on step one once, and like,
Whoa.
you know what I mean, bro? That's how I talk.
Whoa.
That's how I talk to kids, man.
Oh
when I
my
talk,
God.
when I talk to a 3-year-old girl,
Mine is blown.
I'm like, yo, bro, you know that staircase you were just on? Step one.
Mind
You're on-
blown emoji.
done. But no, I'm super happy with
Wow.
it. I've got my new mic set up, picked out. I sent you guys the email. Well,
You
I
did.
did a bunch of research last
I
night on.
emailed back.
Oh, awesome. I did a bunch of research on
Like
fucking mics and stuff, and I'm super happy. Like, I hate that things cost so much. Like, it feels like nowadays, if you want to be on the pro level of anything, every part costs $750. Like,
Well,
I feel like
you-
that's
you-
like, you know
How
what I mean?
willing are you to how willing are you to buy in? You know what I mean? How willing are you to buy in to be successful? All right, you look me in the eye,
You look,
and
you look me in the eye,
and the good
okay?
one, the good eye. You tell me.
I can't avert one eye. That's a fucking talent, guy.
Thank you.
I have a
It really
coworker who can shake his pupils. I don't know why. And he decides to show me, and it's really weird. He's like, hey, look at me. And he gives you the stare and puts his arms on the table. But like, he like literally can focus.
That's a weird way to flirt.
Seriously. But I accept it because we're coworkers. It's a thing. But no, like he can literally make
Yeah, I
both
see
his
what- I know
eyes
you're
shake.
talking about,
It's
yeah.
like, it's like, dude, how close are you to an aneurysm? You know what I mean? Like, how about we don't make your pupils shake? Mine don't. I feel pretty good. You know?
That's one of
Yeah.
those weird. It's one of those innate body talents, like, you know, be able to do this and then this and then this. And then
Everyone
this,
can
and
do
then
that.
this and this
Unless
and
you have
this and
tendon
this
problems.
and this. What's side?
I can make my balls disappear.
What can you do, Spence?
I can make my balls disappear.
Yeah, it's called being married.
No, dude. It's
Oh.
called like when you stuff behind you and you make that little like that little side
Oh,
of
the
girl
eh,
pose.
the eh.
No,
Okay,
the
the
same
eh.
Buffalo Bill. The same Buffalo Bill.
Oh my God, Buffalo Bill. Let me tell you, man, I love The Departed.
It's
What
the
did you
Departed.
say?
You missed
Yeah.
4 H's. It's the Departed. Departed. Okay. The
Why don't you
P.
go drink some cranberry and vodka?
I
All right.
cranberry and vodka ice myself. But all right, yeah, we're at that time. Do you have anything you want to share, Nami, to anyone as far as socials or anything?
Well, as far as like my hiking and exploration adventures, you know, I've been sharing a lot of it on my Instagram because I'm trying to bring more diversity to the trail, more, you know, just to get more people outdoors, whether it's like a walk in the park or just checking out somewhere new in your area. So if anyone wants to follow me, it's at Nami Sunshine on IG.
Do you have like a list of what to bring with you on a hike 101?
Oh, I can actually like send you a list if you like, as far as like if you're doing like a short hike or a long hike. I know some people have been asking me questions through my Instagram. Like people have been noticing that I go to like a lot of places and they've been asking like, oh, you know, like what's a good park in Florida, or just like what Leon asked about like where he should go for where he's going. But like the AllTrails app has everything. Even if you like to mountain bike, they have trails for just mountain bikers too.
Dope.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, awesome. Thank you for coming on, and thank you, Leon, for sequestering one of your friends to come on here and talk to us about, you know, idiosyncratic things.
I love
Oh.
idiosyncratic things.
I do too.
I
It's the
put on
birthplace of
my
every
fa-
good idea. You have
I
a
put
dumb
on my
idea and then
Facebook
it
that I love
transcends.
those. And then I also say that on my Facebook, I love movies. You know what I mean? Like when it says music, I put all types. You know?
I met a person
8008.
I met a person the other day who
5.
didn't have Facebook, and it was like I said "oh" out loud and didn't realize it. I was like, "Hey, bro, you wanna hang out? I'll add you on Facebook sometime."
I don't have a Facebook. I only have IG and Twitter.
I
Buddy,
just looked at him and was
Facebook all
like,
the way.
"Oh." And like the conversation ended. Like I didn't give him my phone number. I was just like, "Oh, okay." You know
All
what I mean?
right then.
Yeah, but awesome. Yeah, everyone, you guys got anything to plug? I'm sure Leon
yeah.
has some crazy
We do.
homoerotic story about a man in a hammock and 3
So-
dudes who wouldn't leave the room.
I should really make that into a bonus episode where I just would get every possible guest that we have, and I'll just read this story for everybody. But I think that would be a great bonus episode.
We'll call it reaction porn. Leon's
there you go.
tribunals.
Yeah.
That would be
So
great.
I just finished proofreading a book that I'm writing, and I'm looking into getting that like I said, targeting to get that self-published by the end of next month. So everyone's got my socials. You got me at alternative_zen at IG, alternative zen on Twitter. And then of course we have Spence and I are now doing a rewatch of all the Star Trek movies.
Yes.
We're doing that. Yeah, we record that every Monday night. I don't know how we're releasing it, but we're doing that. So I already finished watching Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Yeah,
I got
same.
I got words.
Yeah,
I
same.
got
Good,
words,
good. I'm
he
psyched.
said.
I got words, bro.
Dude, that I saw that this morning for the very first time, and I was like, mind is blown.
I watched that after our conversation on that Monday episode that we did. Literally right after I went and watched it, and I went, "Oh my god, I got words, guy."
Was your mind blown?
Yeah, kind of. So yeah, check that show out. That beams up on the bridge soon. And then Spencer, you got anything to plug?
Oh yeah, just every time, every day. Go on Letterboxd. Check Letterboxd. Check out Rufio86. Follow me. I'll follow you back. Let's like each other's stuff. All right. Let's get to know each other. Hopefully, you could be a guest someday. All right.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Just thumbs up me.
I got a
thumbs up me,
pudding
thumbs
pop
up
at
me.
Letterboxd.
I
Yo,
got-
Bill
I got
Cosby's free, bro. Bill Cosby's free.
Yeah. Lock him
No.
back up.
No,
Lock him
yo,
back
bro.
the fuck
Yo,
up.
No.
Yo, yeah, it's super fucked up. He raped people. That's the worst thing in the world, obviously. but
Not to
yeah,
undermine the whole
But-
thing, guys,
but yo, dude, he got them on a fucking technicality because they promised him something. He delivered, and they were still like, "You're a piece of shit. Goodbye." And now
Look,
he's out of jail, and double
have to-
jeopardy means he got away with it.
I know.
He got to fucking
I know.
rape people
Crazy.
and
It's
get away
crazy.
with it.
You have to understand this world is not that great. Climate
No.
change is a real thing. Bill
He's
Cosby's
going
been
back
let
to
out of jail,
comedy, bro.
and we still allow Takeshi 6ix9ine to rap. These are problems in the world.
This is a clear case of money can buy anything.
Yo, he's going back to comedy. Like that's the thing. So like Rogan was talking about it. What's he gonna
Who
talk
the
about?
fuck's
Is
gonna
he
see him?
is he gonna be well, dude? Everyone. He's fucking Bill Cosby. He's either gonna ignore it or bring it in the spotlight, and he can spotlight it. Dude, it's fucking double jeopardy.
I
He
mean,
can
he's
make
got
light
to
on
have some
raping
jokes about being
people
in jail,
and getting
man.
away with it. He can go
just-
all fucking. What's the murderer who I can't think of his name right now? The famous
Ted
murderer.
Kaczynski.
No, the other one.
Oh,
The one who
Jay
killed women.
Simpson.
The one who
O.J.
killed women.
Oh,
Who
the
was-
Nightcrawler?
Ted Bundy.
Nightcrawler?
I don't
Ted
think
Ted
it's-
Bundy?
I don't know.
Ed
I don't-
Gein.
I don't know who the fuck I'm thinking of. A really popular one. I don't like it from
Ted Bundy.
Is it?
Zodiac.
Yeah.
Nope.
No one's
Ted
ever
Bundy.
revealed this.
We can ignore it. I don't know. But there was someone who killed
Leon
women.
Andrews. Is
David
that the murderer?
Berkowitz. Was it David
Jesus.
Berkowitz?
Nope. That
Was
wasn't
it the co-ed killer? Give me names, damn it!
Dude, I'm trying to think about it. I don't have my serial killers
Casey
unlocked.
Anthony.
I think it was that one killer that was like killing women in like a sorority house or something. How it started there, and then like this
Yeah, I feel
woman,
like-
he was like telling her,
Let me Google
I
it.
didn't.
I would
do
know
it.
his name if I saw
I know,
it.
I
I really
watched
do.
it.
Like,
Yeah,
he's
I
a
think I know who
prolific
you're talking about.
woman serial killer, and he went to
Yep,
prison.
yep.
I know what you're talking about.
I forgot
I'm
his
not-
name.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna let you guys stool in it.
You don't fucking know the name.
Did anybody
liar.
Yeah.
actually say the right name, Leon?
You were close though. He was from that era.
The Ed Gein co-ed killer era?
Yours, guys. Nope, you were close because it was Ted Bundy.
It was.
Yeah,
I said Ted
he
Bundy.
Was that the
Yeah.
one? Did Ted Bundy was the one who killed specifically women?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was married too.
You're thinking of that one guy
Yeah.
who was gay that killed other gay people and ate them.
BTK? No, that's not.
No, not BTK. No.
Yeah,
Was
I
it
don't know
Al
why
Pacino in
that
the
Ted Bundy
Cruising?
doesn't ring in my ear like that's the one that I'm thinking of. But it totally could be. Like I said, I don't have it on lock. But yeah, no, it's like there's. No, I forgot my point. I was so wrapped up in trying to figure out like who the
How
fuck
you could be a handsome serial killer and how I'm a handsome serial killer. And Double Jeopardy allows people to get out. And Bill Cosby can do comedy about raping women, I guess. Was that where you're going to? I don't understand, bro.
Yeah, neither do
I'm trying to
I
you
did
that.
have a point. There was a point about the guy who killed specifically women. He got away with
Oh.
something specifically about that because of some dumb little fucking thing. And I don't know why Ted Bundy doesn't feel like his name. Like when you said it, there was no bell. That totally could be it. I don't know. Nonetheless, yeah, we've had enough time. Anyone have anything else to say other than adios in some form of language?
This has been, if they won't listen, a health at every size and body positive podcast, right?
Yep.
Nailed it.
All right. Everyone have a good night.
Have a good night,
All right,
guys.
have a good night, you
everybody.
guys.
Nice seeing
Easy.
It
everybody.
was fun.